Welcome to Leetcode JavaScript, a channel where we solve every single Leetcode question using JavaScript. Today we have 1544, make the string great. This is an easy question. So given a string S of lower and uppercase letters, a good string is defined as one that does not have two adjacent characters, SI and SI plus 1, where the following conditions hold. It should be at most the latest two characters. That means I is greater than 0 or equal to 0, or is greater or equal to SI like minus 2. And SI is a lowercase letter, and SI plus 1 is the same letter but in uppercase or vice versa. Meaning if you have something like this, wouldn't be valid because we have E as lowercase and E as uppercase, and we wanna not have two letters that would be the same if you change the case to them. Alright. So to make a string good, you can choose two adjacent characters that make the string bad and remove them. You can keep doing this until the string becomes good, and you gotta return the string after making it good. The answer is guaranteed to be unique under the constraints that were given. Notice that an empty string is a valid answer. Alright. So the way to solve this is actually using a stack, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna start with stack, and to do a stack in JavaScript you can simply use an array. We're gonna take a constant stack there. Then we're gonna use a for each loop for the string as we're gonna call it C for character of S. Now we want to keep track of the last element of the stack, and to do that there's a couple ways to do it, but just to prevent any errors from happening, a way to do that is using the stack that at -1. That's simply gonna give me the last value that we're looking at, and then we're gonna check whether last is not null and C is not equal to last, because remember EE is valid, E is not valid. So we gotta check this first, and then we gotta check where the two things are the same but in different cases. And there's two ways to do that. You could check the character code and see that the difference might be 32, and interviewer may ask you to do that. However, there's a shorthand we can use in JavaScript, and simple. I'm going to do it here. It's going to be C2 lowercase, and that's equal to last that lowercase. Alright. And if that's the case, we're gonna pop this tag. I'm gonna do stack.pop, meaning removing the top element. Otherwise, we're gonna push the current character. So we're gonna do stack.push up C. And finally, we end up with a stack that has all the characters in order of the great string. And we're gonna return the stack, the join, and the empty string, so we can just return everything. Let's jump right in this code. And as you can see, stack.join actually allows us to return a string, because the stack in this case is still an array. Now let's just revisit what we did once again to make sure everything's clear. We start from the stack, and then we do a for each loop, although a regular for loop works just as well. And we always push the current character, and except whenever the current character is both not the same as the last character and a different case from it. And if that's the case, we're gonna pop the stack, so we do not have both the previous character and the current character, so we essentially eliminate. For example, in this case, when we see E and E, we end up deleting both of them, and we get with Leetcode at the end. And finally, we do use stack.join to return a string, although you could use a for loop instead, even if the interviewer asks you to do so. Now the time complexity is O of n, because we have a single for loop that goes through s, where n is the length of s, and the space complexity is also O of n, because we are using a stack, and in the worst case we're going to be storing every single character of s, and that's going to be it. Let's try submitting this. And there you go. The runtime is extremely fast, faster than 91% of JavaScript Online submissions. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe.